because they're making a lunch. So the closer we are, so let me just very briefly introduce you to Sandra the curator of the Portuguese exhibit. And Sandra is a writer and independent curator and art critic. And she's the artistic director, coordinator, and editor of the online magazine Wrong Wrong, as well as of the well-known now online artist residencies. It's a digital platform hosting residencies of artists with the support of organizations active in the domains of artistic creation. The art fields considered for now are photography, visual arts, film, architecture, graphic design, and sound art. Sandra teaches and coordinates the art curatorship postgraduate program at the Universidade Nova de Lisboa, and also works as a researcher at the renowned Institute for Art History at the same Universidade Nova de Lisboa. Please join me in welcoming Sandra.
Hi, everybody. Well, the Portuguese project is entitled Mutant Geographies, and it's about the collective identity of Portugal and Europe. How we represent, how to represent itself, Europe and Portugal. Which used to work digitally in artworks, online artworks. And the project is conceived by four Portuguese artists, Cláudia Fischer, Paulo Mendes, Pedro Portugal, and André Alves. And the team are composed by João Sousa, who designed and worked in the layout of the website. The website is, the title is How Artistic Online Residencies, and it's the presentation and the computers with the website to interact. To explain the project, the artist and João Sousa will make us a brief introduction or brief good to guide for about the project. Okay, then André Alves.
We can move a bit here. This will be on the slide, so and I'm a visual artist and researcher, and this presentation was by thinking precisely of what kind of society we wanted to have digital in the future. And I thought in terms of what ego meant, both an individual and a large approach, nationalistic. And the more I thought about it, the more troubles I found with it. I have a lot of troubles with ideas of borders and ideas of limitations. So I kind of decided to observe the relations between people in this kind of new format, and I decided that I would use this opportunity also to develop some sort of skill or transform my own artistic practice through it. So I started writing rather than representing, yet again, these questions, and writing short poems or thinkings about different situations, and also appropriating myself from certain things, certain either tools or videos that exist in the internet, and to which I would add text and comments and transform them a little bit. So the site is organized by like this. So there you have a slideshow that kind of gives a lookalike of the structure of the site. But you can look here now, and we'll see how it functions. And basically, if you go scroll down, let's scroll down in here. Yeah. So it moves and informs the word identities, and then they kind of disappear. The project is actually called entities. It's more into something that is formed by entanglements and relations than actually ideas of self. And then these three columns with words pop up. And what they are, they correspond to the different poems. And most of them, I either sang them or had the computer singing them as well. So there's kind of weird experimentality there. I'm just going to show you bits of 3 clips, not to take a lot of your time, and then you can go and explore it and see how it is. So I started with National M, because at the beginning I was concerned about what really represents Portugal as a thing, and I really hate stereotypes, but poetically there's a strong mark regarding the non-defined, the ambiguity, the indecision, the impassive, the sort of lost without place within the Portuguese poetry and Portuguese surrealism and so on. But I found that also, those qualities in a pop singer from writing and singing something that made me think of that. Let's see if this isn't. And what happens is that I just translated the lyrics to English and I call it National M as a sort of proposal for something that would be more relevant to contextualize something at large. So very cheesy pop melodrama, 90s, beautiful song. Moving on, again, I've made a small list so I won't lose myself. This is a column. Sorry, it's kind of.
Dry eyes. Blink, blink. Dry eyes. Blink, blink. Head, shoulders. Blink.
And goes on. At this pace. And you will always find, because sometimes me and the computer don't make it very clear what I'm saying, so there's always a text there as well. So you always have the text and the sound at the same time. So it's never, so that the identity of the text becomes the more important thing in a way, that the word is the more important thing there. Just another one. This is that's me singing with the help of GarageBand and computer samples and a couple of friends. And goes on. And for me, it was really also using this chance of working artistically in a way that not only the medium, that what the medium provides, but what I could go through in a way that I could actually emancipate somehow. And which is, I think, something quite important within this discussion, is what this new devices really enable us in this transmutation or this transformation. And this is just, of course, really, I know, really basic way of doing it. But important. That's it, I think.
Thank you. Thank you.
Claudia.
I'm going to talk. I don't need it. No, it's better we need it. Yeah.
You need it.
It's better. Okay. So, yes. I'm going to talk about this project closer to home. This is online as well, and this project closer to home combines two lines. There are two projects. They are audiovisual, and the first one is a vertical line, and maybe you come closer or you can see it later on online. You see, maybe I just wait and you just have a look because it's audiovisual. So maybe you want to come closer. You're shy, yes. So what you actually see here is a loop of 196 images, which is a selection I taped from images between September and December last year. And the starting point is actually images from astrophysical place, a kind of camera which is looking up at the sky. And my interest point in this kind of work was is a geographical approach that we look at the directions which we fixed and mapping our identity. In these specific images, the majority have the kind of north-east, and then it looks like the east and the west is inverted. And that's actually plays with this kind of idea that we fix our geographical positions and all the assumption and perception we have within these geographical ideas. This is because normally the map is we look down, and what happens here, we actually look up. It's these images, the loop you see here, there are layers over layers of various places. It started with one place, and then there are layers of different places, different times. It's not chronological, so it's changed, taken as the geography. And well, this is the vertical line, and you can probably not listen very well now, but it has sound as well, and the sound was recorded at my home. So you listen this kind of dropping, this vertical dropping, and if you have more sound, you listen as well some background noises, like you listen now here to the restaurant, you listen as well, you have my neighbors some kind of background noises. This is the vertical one project, and now it's you can change here, and I hope it's going to work, to the horizontal one. And this is a audiovisual loop as well, film, which you can't listen probably very well now. The sound is not working so well, but
it's already closed.
yeah.
Oh. They still have like computers. They have like there, so different computers.
Yes. So you need to listen to it later on. So that's actually a loop where you see just a fragment of events of a carousel which carries
luggage, and what you can't see, what's invisible, actually the journey, the luggage is doing the kind of light scanners, which are invisible and which are suggested by amplifying the sound. The sound is kind of suggesting this way. These two projects together, the vertical and horizontal line, they're combining together, starting from a geographical approach, and it's the idea that the visitor becomes a traveler between this kind of familiar and strange, and as well the idea that identity needs to be constantly reinvented. So it's not a fixed one. That's all. Thank you.
Hello, my work is about it's a kind of a political archive about the construction, ideological construction of the Portuguese identity. It's an archive about the 39 years of dictatorship in Portugal and the way that government and the dictatorship that ends in 74 construct the identity of Portugal. So it's an archive of images taken from the internet, taken from other archives in Portugal and my own archive, and with two texts, two important texts for the Portuguese history. One of them, by António Ferro, is the guy that directs the Department of Propaganda of the dictatorship. What the name in Portuguese is Estado of New State. And that guy, António Ferro, make several interviews with the dictator during the 30s and 40s, and when the first text until the decade of the 70s is that text, that interviews. The last decades, 1890s until now, is another text by a Portuguese philosopher, Eduardo Lourenço. He's the most important guy that reflects about the Portuguese identity now, and how we don't have the means to make a kind of strategy to the future. Portugal is a country that thinks about the past, about the discoveries time, about that kind of glorious past, but don't have a new perspective to the future. And Eduardo Lourenço talked about that, a kind of fear to exist, like another Portuguese philosopher, Jesuit, talked. So that is, you can see the text because they are also in Portuguese and in English. You can click in the different decades and you go to a kind of iconography. The images are several in each decade. So you can see videos also from the internet about the Portuguese images of tourism and how the way Portuguese show for the other people, for outside Portuguese frontiers. So it's about that. It's a kind of political statement and the political archive of the history of Portugal during the 20th century until now. Thanks.
Now, Pedro Portugal.
I will ask João to move with this work is called the Hoppe Album, and I found a translation in English.